What's going on, everybody? Josh Morris with the Everything Paranormal Show, and joining me is a very special guest. He's paranormal consultant. His name is Matt. Matt, I don't know if you want to use your last name, but we'll just go Matt, the paranormal consultant. Matt, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Thank you. And I'm honored to be here. Really happy to help you out tonight, Josh, and be with you and chat with you.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'm glad you're on here. And so let's, first of all, just to let you folks know, we've got a lot of things to discuss. Matt is a seasoned veteran in the paranormal field, so he's got a lot of things we're going to talk about. And we're going to get to know Matt over here, maybe over this next hour, hopefully. And I can't wait to dive in. So first of all, Matt, why don't you just give us a brief little summary of, just tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically personal life. I grew up in Pennsylvania, Central PA. Short version, had a couple experiences in the paranormal, kind of brushed them off. Never really thought about them. Joined the Navy, moved out to San Diego, met a couple of friends out there who were into the paranormal that started taking me out to cemeteries, different places out there. And yeah, I just started, that sparked my interest in the field itself. And then wanted to join a team. Don't want to bash, but I didn't like the way they ran business. So I started doing some research and looking into how to actually run a team. Started San Diego Paranormal Eye, was out there, did my thing out there. We did over 400 homes and businesses, TV reports. We were on the news a couple times, did a bunch of podcasts, worked with a group called San Diego Haunted. And from there, moved back to PA, started the team out here, excuse me. And yeah, I just kind of, I don't want to say I lost interest in the team, but the team wanted to go one direction. I wanted to go another way. So my wife and I came up with a paranormal consultant. She's more of the backstage. I'm more, up front with it. But yeah, the rest is history.
Nice.
And that's over the course of 14 years.
So when, I think there's a lot of us have that one moment. When was that one moment that really started it for you, though? When did you just really take interest? Was there a specific moment or what?
Well, there were actually three. That the first one, I was just a kid. I was only like 5 or 6, same age as my daughter. The house we were living in, I was in bed. I heard a bunch of movement coming from the attic. And I thought, what are my parents doing? It's nighttime. We're all supposed to be in bed. Went upstairs, and everything in that attic, and we all have that attic where everything's just cluttered. Typically, this was all stacked up to floor to ceiling of all of our stuff. And I was like, okay. So that was one of the first. The second, I was 16. My mother worked at a state hospital local here in PA. I was driving home. I went up to see her after work or after school. Was driving back, and there's an old railroad bridge that runs off the property. I was going down it and underneath, and there was a female standing in the middle of the road. I slammed on my brakes. She went through the car. Once the car stopped, I got out. I said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And I stopped. Then I realized what happened. Didn't go back there for a while. But I think finally the red flag, I guess you could say, that really got me going and lit the fire is when I was out investigating with that group I was talking about of friends from San Diego. We were at the cemetery, and there was an urban legend that's called the Unknown German. He apparently will smoke with you. You just light a cigarette, put it on his cross, and he'll smoke it. Nice. Now, me being a smoker, I know that if you don't smoke a cigarette, it'll go out. I swear to you, Josh, this cigarette smoked the entire way through. And there was actually like the butt of the cigarette was black, like somebody was smoking it. After that, I was like, okay, I got to get into this.
Well, no, I mean, that's really cool. I know, because like I said, most everybody has that that first a few incidences, maybe like with a little kid, or there's always that tipping point where it's like, hey, where I want to learn more about this. So I guess when you started doing locations and things like that, what was the probably the scariest location for you?
Well, the scariest for me was this wooded area in San Diego. Like I said, we all went out as a group to different places. Before I was started a team up, there's these woods at the old mission in San Diego, and there's a trail that runs all through this park. Beautiful area, and there's a bench there. Rumor had it that somebody was hung there, and it was a bad event happened, we'll just say. And I was sitting on that bench, and like, I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid of locations. I'll run in anywhere, saying, "Come on, let's go." But there was just something just off-putting about that spot. And then one of the benches ended up shaking, and I was like, okay. That was probably where I was like, we need to back out of here. But that was probably the first place where I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold back on.
Yeah, and it's funny too because sometimes it's hard to describe to some people, but it's a feeling a lot of times too. It's not even so much like something that was like actually scared you, like an event or something that looked scary, but sometimes just the feeling of the place, just the environment, everything that was happening, little noises, all coming together sometimes. And it really can pull on you sometimes. And I'm like you, I don't really get scared a lot when I'm in most of the locations. Like 99% of the locations I'm in, I'm pretty much focused on business. I'm enjoying it. It's really cool. I love it. But then there's those one or two times, sometimes every once in a blue moon, man, when it's just the right combination of things. So real quick, just wanted to shout out to we got some people popping in chat. Forgotten Shadows, Spirit Seekers Paranormal. That's me. Never mind. The Everything Paranormal. I almost read myself. I said hello. Ron Knowles Jr. Hello. So he asked, "What was your favorite location and why?" So that's real similar. So maybe not so much scary, but what was your favorite location and why was that?
I would have to say my favorite location was a old USO building. It's now an office space on this Army base out in just south of Camp Pendleton in San Diego. My team and I were called in. Basically, it was funny. I'm prior service. I was in the Navy. We got a call from the Army guys on base saying, "Hey, this is going on. There's guys aren't wanting to go in after dark. This is happening. That's happening." But just not only the history of this place. I mean, it had a full theater, like vaudeville theater, a bunch like backstage, everything. It was amazing. That was probably my favorite. I got some really good evidence from there. It was a lot of fun, and I got to pick on a bunch of Army guys. So
nice. And Forgotten Shadow says, "Nobody's afraid of the dark. We're afraid of what's in the dark. Crackheads. We're afraid of crackheads."
True.
And that's true. Like, it is true because most of the time, when you're exploring like abandoned places, things like that. I mean, even if you have permission, the owners of these properties, there's a property here that I know that I did a few times. And then one of the times I went out there, and like I said, I had permission to be there, but I could tell things had been moved around. There was probably some squatters that had went into this building. They made themselves a little ladder to get into the window. So I'm like, it's time to leave. So,
Yep. We had a couple of transients out in San Diego in some of our locations we had to watch out for.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, of course, Forgotten Shadows also said here in PA, like Pennsylvania. So, yes.
Yep, Pennsylvania, good old PA.
Leslie Russell Knowles, what's your favorite piece of equipment? Which, by the way, was my next question. So, perfect tie-in for Leslie Russell Knowles. What's your favorite piece of equipment?
Well, honestly, I think that my favorite piece is a recorder, just a basic recording device. That is my go-to, my bread and butter. Um, and honestly, like I know we have equipment now that does amazing different things. I mean, next to producing spirits, but the recorder has got to be your best and my favorite because that's where you're going to get your evidence. That's where you're going to get verification on things.
Yeah, and I would say that it's probably one of my favorites as well. Just because, really, out of all the years of doing it, I feel like EVPs are about the close to some of the only evidence I seem to actually get because I'm not a big orb person, and so beyond that, there's some pixelated stuff, and are we matrixing some things? It's hard for me to truly tell sometimes. But EVPs, man, I gotta say, I've just done some. I've had EVPs in my own home where I controlled the environment. There was no external sources, and I've had EVPs that's made me a believer. So,
yeah, same here. Some of my best evidence has been EVPs.
Yeah, and but I do like that. I have been trying to get away from some pieces of equipment now, like SLS camera, stuff like that. It was fun. I think it was like a fad in a way, but just with the technology and the way it is, it's like I feel bad because it was such a cool piece of equipment, but you could try to use it, I guess. And how do you feel about the SLS?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Any piece of equipment to me has some worth. The SLS camera is a good aid. I don't even want to call it, an evidence finder. I would call it an aid. It is a good thing to help out because, I mean, it's picking up on something. There's obviously something there that it's whether it's a malfunction of the equipment or something's actually there. It is an aid. But I mean, that's like an obulus, stuff like that. Like I said, they're good aids. But as far as solid evidence is concerned, I would have to have something along with it. It'll have to tie in.
Right. And that's what I always try to tell people too is like have multiple pieces of equipment. If you're trying to prove things to people, you're going to want a couple different pieces of equipment so you can have some confirmation
Oh,
and some
absolutely.
cross confirmation on things.
Absolutely.
So of course, Forgotten Shallow's picking on you a little bit. He said he lives in PA, and he said, "Are you bringing ghosts to my state?" And Ron Knowles Jr. said, "You can't troll Matt too bad." So
Ron and Leslie are not only followers for me, but they're actually going to be my guests on my show tomorrow night.
nice.
They're a wonderful group from Canada. Literally a family team, husband and wife and kids. They're a great group.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to try to watch that show if I can. But yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, welcome to this show. And Leslie said, because this is one that you like to ask, is what is your bucket list location?
I knew they were going to do that. I would have. Honestly, I know probably Josh, you've heard people say that they want to go to Alcatraz, they want to go here, they want to go, Lep Castle, overseas. Mine is very simple: Myrtle's Plantation, down in the Carolinas. That is my dream, to go to the Myrtles for an overnight or even a weekend. They're just the history, the reports, everything about it, and it has nothing to do with that show. It's just I've heard a lot, seen a lot, read a lot. I want to go.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll just say for me, and like I'm gonna cheat, and I'm not gonna pick a specific location, but I will say Europe. Europe in general, because yes, I would like to go over there. I think because of the age, there's so much history going back and with the castles and just the locations. It would be hard for me to say I want to go to this specific castle or I want to go to this specific. There's a lot of great locations in America, don't get me wrong. I've been to a lot, but again, and there's many locations I want to go here in America, but I think even with my wife, she wants to see a lot of the castles and stuff. So I think we would probably love to just go to Europe and do like a paranormal tour. So
Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of places. I'm trying to think of what it is. Um, oh, there's the caverns that they have over. I want to say it's over in England that they a bunch of Satanists created. I can't remember the catacombs or something. Not the catacombs themselves, but there's one, the Hellfire Club. Thank you.
Right.
There we go. The Hellfire Club is another one that I'd love to get to.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many places over there that it would be crazy.
Oh,
I would love to. Hopefully I can take all my equipment because I don't know how customs is like, but I'd love to just get all my equipment over there and just go to town and just spend some time there. Like how the old like back in the day when it was popular. I mean, I might be older, but back when the college kids would go backpacking for a summer over there.
Yep.
It's like,
yeah.
As an adult, it's kind of hard to just pick up and do stuff like that for the summer. But I would. That'd be great. We just go over there for the summer, backpack around. Oh. Well, I don't know about backpacking because I'd be out of breath and stuff, man. I'm too fat for backpacking. I'd lose some weight, I guess.
Same.
So
maybe we could start a Kickstarter or something to get it going. We'll get a group.
Fund my trip to Europe. There you go. That's all it is. Fund my trip to Europe. I literally saw like a Kickstarter for like a guy that was like, he wanted to film just him and his buddies getting high and stuff. That's it. And he was just like, that's it. Just and he raised like, the sad thing is he was like $6,000 into like some huge amount. It's insane. I'm like, man, if he would just asked for $6,000, he would have had that by now and been getting paid to just sit around getting high and filming it. That's crazy.
Oh, jeez. What a time we live in, huh?
Right? But yet, people like us that could really like use it for filming episodes, we might raise a couple $100. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bob Fountain, welcome to the show. It's good to see you, Bob. Bob's one of my regulars. He also writes for Paranormal Underground magazine, who is one of our regular sponsors for the show. So, Bob, welcome. Yeah, it's good to see you. And Facebook user that says, "Hey fellas," see, it just says Facebook user. So sorry about that. But yes, Bob said in some of the castles in Germany, you feel like you are being watched all the time. Yeah, I can believe it. And I'd love to go and figure that out myself. I want that feeling.
Right now, let me ask you if I may. Now, that feeling, do you think that's environmental or it's actually something paranormal?
I think it can be intuition as well. I think, and I'm sure you probably noticed yourself over the time of investigating, the more you're out there in the field, the more it's like your frequencies kind of tune with some of the paranormal as well. And you're able to kind of start picking up and you get that more intuition. You kind of know, you feel the energy more when it's starting to build up, things like that. Whereas, when you take some new people, they may not feel that. And you're like, and you just tell them. And my wife's done it. She's a great antenna for things. And she'll just be like, man, do you feel that? Do you feel the energy building? And I'm like, yeah. And so I see you, you see me. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. But yes, I think that for sure, and it's the same thing with feeling like being watched, things like that. I really feel like it's that part of that psychic intuition that you naturally kind of build, even if you're not psychic, it's still that psychokinetic level. So yeah, but that was a good little topic. But speaking of which, let me ask you something. So how important is integrity to you? I know you're a Navy guy. I'm a former Air Force guy, but in the military, obviously, service above self and integrity, these were core values in most all military branches. But how important is the integrity to you in the world of paranormal, and what impact do you think it plays in the field of paranormal?
Integrity as far as clientele. If you're dealing with any type of client, you have to maintain your integrity. You have to be 100% honest, open, no matter what. Because I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, yeah, it's fun to get out and investigate. It is. It's a lot of fun. But when people are relying on that, you have to maintain integrity because if you goof around, if you fake evidence, I've seen this field and I've seen clients get divorced over stuff like this, and I've actually seen them save marriages. So you are dealing. I mean, yeah, we're only there for a couple hours, but these people have to live with that. So maintaining integrity in clients, absolutely 100%. When you're out in the field, if you're just goofing around with some friends, I mean, have fun. I mean, faking evidence with the team. If you want to scare the crap out of your team, I mean, have fun with that. But if you're going to put it out to the general public, maintain integrity because you can put a very bad name in the paranormal field for doing stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So how do you feel about when they put in there for entertainment purposes? Do you think that's a cop out?
As long as they mention that it is for entertainment, speaking of my wife, as long as they say, hey, this is entertainment only, that's fine.
She waited until.
But if you're going to sit there and you're going to say this is actual evidence, no. You have, if it's entertainment, make it be entertainment. Don't sit there and claim to have it be evidence.
She waited until I basically had the dishes done except for the product, which is fine. I don't care. But Brandon comes over and he's like, "You killed those dishes," and I was like, "No."
So, just to let you guys know, we've kind of had to do some of this on the park carpool. So a little bit of like a carpool interview. Next we'll do some karaoke.
Yeah. I think I need to call. I'm going to call him out on this. I'm going to call Scott Morton out for some karaoke. I heard he's really good.
Actually, I'll give you a second just to kind of get yourself together. We're going to take a quick little 1 minute break. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this for you guys so you can check out. This is the trailer for our Para Explorers trailer. Don't forget, you can check it out on Paraflix.
Your team has been chosen. You must complete all of the tasks. I do not tolerate failure.
All right, so there you guys go. There's a little bit of a sneak peek for you guys. Or that sneak peek is the actual trailer. And again, you can catch that on Paraflix. It's a streaming platform. And it's only like $4 a month, or you can do like $30 for like an entire year. But go check it out, guys. So anyways, back to our special guest, Matt, paranormal consultant. One of the things I really want to ask you is a fun question. This is a fun question. This is not the one I asked you earlier. This is going to be one that I like to ask as well. So we all know that you really don't find naked ghosts. They do seem to be wearing outfits. So my question is, if you pass on and you become a ghost, what's your ghost outfit?
Oh, we're getting another special guest. Honestly, from what I've heard, I've actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a little tangent here. I have actually asked the question to a spirit, what's it like to die? The response I got was cold. So I'm hoping, a hoodie at least, or something to keep me somewhat warm or comfortable would probably be my go-to.
So the hoodie. You're going to rock the hoodie in the afterlife.
absolutely. I mean, how cool would that be? I mean, you see an apparition and then it just flips up a hoodie. That'd be kind of cool.
That's what most of the dark shadows look like. It looks like they're wearing a black hoodie, anyways.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is. They're in hoodies or some
Right.
kind of sweatshirt.
It's just the hoodie club. That's all it is
There you
among
go.
the ghosts. Just among the ghosts, that's all it is. That's all dark shadows are. It's just the black hoodie club.
Maybe there's like a level you have to reach to get your hoodie. You start
Right.
off in like basic clothes, and then you go to a sweatshirt or a blanket, and then you get your hoodie.
It's like
You have to
when you
read
get up to
that
level 5 haunt, you're like, all right, I've done the level 2, done. I'm up to level 5 haunt, and I can have my hoodie.
Oh, let's hope that's that much fun.
So we got Bob's got a question. He says, how many times have you had to just walk away from an investigation because of the motives of the client? I've had more than one.
Ooh. Well, there's been one time that sticks to my mind, and I've probably, like I said, I've had over 400 of them. But there's probably one that I backed out because I found they were faking evidence. I know we were talking about that earlier. They just wanted to say their house was haunted, and they wanted us to come in. So when I found that they were actually faking a lot of the stuff, that's when I backed out. I mean, there was some times where I backed out for safety reasons. I left one client because they actually fell asleep on us, and they were in bed and they just passed out. I'm going, oh, okay. But yeah, I've had clients drunk and stuff like that. But I think that one where they were faking is where I just stepped in and I said, no, we're done. If this is how it's going to be, if you just want to say your house is haunted and it's not, then you just want to try to pull the wool over my eyes, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, well, and that kind of stuff happens. Unfortunately, you're going to come across your attention seekers from time to time. So, so one of the things that I like to also talk about too. This is going to be another fun question, but I want to make sure I throw this out for you as well because I know a lot of people like this. And this is one thing I like to ask every guest, and that is if you could go back in time just for one day and like observe as like a ghost or something. You can't interact. You can't change history, but you can just go back and observe for one day. When would that be and why?
Well, I've actually thought about this before. And the reason why I thought about this before, Josh, is because I've seen your show. And I keep thinking to myself, if he ever asked me that, what would I say? Oh, there we go. Honestly, I think just for the history sake of it, Pearl Harbor. The day of Pearl Harbor, December 7th. I'm like I said, I was in the Navy. I was in the Seabees construction battalion. The Seabees started just after Pearl Harbor. That's where they were created. That's where that I don't want to call us a branch, but that's where that special ops started.
Right.
Just after. And just to see that catalyst event, I mean, not just to say, oh, cool, that's cool, but just to see and feel that day, that's what started, a lot of our history and, a big, footnote in history, would be amazing, would be humbling, and might even give me a whole new perspective on, the military themselves and, better feeling of patriotism.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I think in all honesty, there's a lot of people in today's world that if they could go and witness an actual, if they were a ghost on a battlefield, an actual bloody battle, I think there would be a lot more appreciation for what our men and women have, gone through, and especially even some of the modern conflicts with the Iraq and everything, just if people could witness that, and especially some of the younger crowd right now, it'd be nice if they could see those things and have that a little more appreciation for what the true sacrifices are for some of the men and women that have served this country.
100%. I mean, I've had a couple of my friends and mentor actually pass away while in uniform, and it really hits home. It's a feeling that you really cannot explain.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize that when, you know, service members go overseas, you know, there's a good chance that they might not come back. Your goodbye may be the last goodbye.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I will say that I like to answer this. I try to keep the same answer because I don't want to, even though it's my show, I don't want to just cheat and come up with something different every time. But I do say that for me, it's the pyramids. I want to see a day, a crucial day in the building of the pyramids. I don't want to say just any day, but like a crucial day because there's, you know, that I think, in my opinion, would solve some things. I think.
Oh yeah.
Just all some histories missing. A few different things seem to tie back toward the pyramids. So it would be nice to see that one day. I think that would be a sort of a multi, you know, task type thing. And so you get a better bang for your buck, maybe. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I
mean, that would be nice to, you know, unravel some of the mysteries, but I mean, I enjoy history as much as the next investigator. And,
oh yeah.
You know, the pyramids and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you're right. That would fill in a lot of puzzle pieces that we're missing. And you could do a Back to the Future type thing and make it a little lucrative. But instead of an almanac, take a recorder with you and have video proof of the pyramids.
I'm gonna go back and watch all the sports events. Take notes. Have your own Gray's Almanac.
There you go.
Right. That's awesome. But so let's talk a little bit about future. So, you know, what's some of the future stuff you got going on?
Well,
everything you can share, anyways.
Short term, I'm just enjoying myself. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel, Facebook, a bunch of other platforms that I'm on. Yeah, I'd love to get that out there, but I just want to enjoy my life. For the first time in a long time, I'm satisfied. I'm happy. You know, I got an amazing wife who supports me and loves me. I have a 6-year-old daughter who is turning into me, and I'm just waiting for that day where she turns and terrorizes me with someone's help. My job, you know, I work for Domino's. I'd love to own a couple and franchise, which I finally have the opportunity to. And then as far as the paranormal is concerned, I'll take this as far as I can go.
Okay.
I just want to have fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to have fun in life for sure. Has there ever been like any investigations that you were on that you said, man, this is too much. I'm going to have to, you know, to get somebody else to come in here or even the church or something?
There was one. It was actually a home out in San Diego, and without going into the full details, I've actually dealt with 3 lower level demonics, and I honestly can say that they were demonics because we had all the proof of a demonic haunting. I've dealt with 3 of them, and the one, which would have been my 4th, it was so intense and so aggressive and very out there to where safety started becoming a concern. I got a hold of a local parish and I told them, I said, look, we cannot investigate it. I will not provoke this thing. It doesn't want us there. It is, you know, it's too dangerous. And I explained everything to the client, and the client went with me to the parish to talk, and they ended up getting the church involved. But I turned everything over to the church, all evidence, all reports, all everything. To my knowledge, they didn't go full-scale exorcism on it, but they did a better job blessing the house than anything that any of us could have done. And to my understanding, the family is still there, still happy, and everyone's safe.
No, that's good though. I mean, yeah, it's tough. I mean, honestly, I haven't come across really any like major demonic cases, you know, knock on wood. There's been some scary incidences for sure. But I don't want to get too much into my past because I know you're going to want to ask me some stuff when I come on your show. So
Oh yeah, I've got a list, and I know my crew has a list too.
yeah. And but I will take a shameless plug moment, guys. If you're watching, don't forget I have a book called My Paranormal: A Guide to the Spirit Realms. It is available on Amazon in ebook or, of course, paperback. And it really sucks because when we launched it, it was right before COVID, and we were starting to do book signing events. So not a lot of autographed copies, except for a few of those events where I got to actually, and that's believe it or not, where I ended up meeting Bob Fountain originally was in one of the events closer toward his way, and I was doing a book signing event, and he was out there also, and he had some equipment on display, and it was pretty cool. So, but let's see what we got here. Looking at the chat again, a lot of people chatting in here is really good. I'm glad to see everybody has been real active and chatting. So, guys, again, if you have any more last minute questions, make sure you get them in here before as we get toward the back end of this. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Bob was talking about when they had so Bob had a situation, and I don't know if something similar happened to you where he had a case where this guy kind of kept wanting to come back several times, but he had this dead girlfriend that was kind of hanging around. She had committed suicide or whatnot, and he had claimed that she sleeps in the bed with him every night. It was kind of creepy, but it's almost like he was wanting to keep her around and things like that. I mean, have you kind of come across some families that just don't want to let some of the paranormal activity go?
Yes, I that's actually a very common concern that a lot of people have asked me about. Um, but you got to think too, and I've told them the same thing. You've got to also think that the spirit's well-being. Why are they there? Are they there for just a reason, like to just let the people know that they're fine, they're happy, they're healthy, well, healthy-ish, they're comfortable, I guess would be a better term. Or is there something holding them there? Are they upset? Are they trapped? What's going on? You have to think of them too. So I've ran across it a couple times, and I guess it would depend on the situation on how to properly handle it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It just depends on the situation, but you really got to keep an eye out for those type of things. And that's what I tell a lot of other people that are getting into it. And I probably would say, well, I'll let you answer this. So, if you were going to give advice to newer ghost hunting teams that are just starting and they're kind of playing around in the abandoned buildings and cemeteries and stuff, what advice would you give them if they wanted to start taking residential cases?
First of all, do your research. Be confident that you can actually help these clients out. Because like I stated earlier, yes, we're only in there for a couple of hours, but these individuals live with this. It can be life-altering for these families. So be professional, do your research, and be confident. If not any of those, don't do it. It took me probably, I would say almost a year before I took on any clients. It's just a year of in the field training, getting comfortable and familiar with my equipment, getting comfortable with, like we stated, how our bodies react, and actually, trying to go over evidence because, a lot of people forget that the investigation is literally only half of the actual investigation itself. You still have your evidence you have to go over, and you have to be thorough with them, and you have to be honest. And
Right.
if you catch something that's scary, you've got to figure out how to either A, help, or B, how to let your client know truthfully what's going on and how you plan on helping them further. You can't just let anybody hang.
Right. Now, there was one thing I just was thinking of too. I hate that. Oh yeah. So, all right. So this is a good one. This is a good one. So I'm gonna let you think. But
And they all look good.
this is always harder when you're the type of person like myself and you're very open to people on the internet and you kind of you share a lot of things. But what's something that what's something that would be a surprise to people to learn about you?
What you see is what you get. A lot of people think that, when we come on these shows, when we do these shows, we're, I don't want to say acting, but we're building ourselves up. We're, kind of boasting or whatever. What you see with me is what you get. I have no surprises, no secrets.
Come on, you gotta have something that there's gotta be something that people will be surprised to know about you.
Honestly, I think the only thing, besides the fact that I will go into literally any space to go investigate, no matter how dark or creepy it is. And this is honestly personal, and this is 100% true. My wife's sitting here, so if I'm lying, she'll hit me. But if anybody watches my shows or knows me personally, I drink these energy drinks. It's over here. These energy drinks. I drink 8 to 10 a day, depending on the day. I have literally had this found in my bloodstream. 100%. I think that is the biggest surprise. Everybody always, I tell them that, they like, no way. It's in my medical record. There is traces of this in my bloodstream.
Great. So, so just support Matt, folks, because he won't be around long when he has a heart attack soon. Jeez. I mean, I have my occasional energy drinks too, but I try to limit myself to no more than 2, period, in one day. Because, well, I'm already out of shape anyway, so I would probably kill myself. If I had 8 to 10, I would probably die, for sure. But okay, I'll let you off the hook with that. I'll give you that one on that, because most people, they have like a hidden talent. They have some things that maybe something they like, or some people don't. I don't want to give away my stuff because, again, I've already put it out there a little bit, but I'll let you hit me back up one day on it.
No, so. I just don't see a reason to really hide myself. I just like to be upfront, honest, open. I'll answer really anything. So I don't like to have secrets.
Yeah, and even like Forgotten Shadow said, "How are you alive?" That's easily like 2,000 caffeine a day.
I don't know. I guess my body's just adjusted. I mean, that's the military way, right, Josh? We adapt.
I guess that's a hell of an adaptation. But yeah, I did.
Skill.
Now I did know a guy. I met one guy that he drank like coffee all day long. I mean, and of course, it seemed like we had to stop it because I had to ride with him. It was like a out in the field kind of job. And It seemed like we were stopping at gas stations like, every 15, 20 minutes or something. I swear to God. I mean, I'm sure the guy's, urinary tract was just like a raceway or something. I don't know. But he was drinking coffee at least 16 cups a day for sure. Like the, kind of tall cups or something. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. But I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I don't want to pick on you too much but that is crazy. That is, I will say, because I know what it's like. I drink energy drinks, so I know even just a couple. I'm like, hey, I'm good, but but are you the kind of person that when it's time to sleep, you can sleep, can't you?
Once I'm actually asleep, yes, it does take me a little bit. No idea why. But it does take me some time to actually, I think it's just me unwinding from the day. Like, I'll just lay there, watch YouTube videos, to try to settle myself down. But once I'm out, I'm out. I'm gone.
Now, Christy Curtis did ask this question here, but not Forgotten Shadows, but he just kind of popped in on me. But yeah, Christy Curtis said, we did kind of answer this earlier, so I don't know if Christy, if you missed the beginning, but she just said, what made you start investigating the paranormal? So if you want to kind of go back a little bit on the beginning time frames.
Short version, it was a bunch of friends that got me out into the field investigating. And then I was through those certain events that led me to the team base, the team environment, to actually start professionally investigating.
Okay. And yeah, Bob said he was a Navy E5 radar man. So he said we lived on coffee when we were out to sea. So
And
but
he,
yeah.
now I'm going to be thinking about his rate all night, trying to figure out radar.
Now I did. Oh, yeah, and I didn't want to forget my wife. She made a comment too as well. I try to get to everybody. Sometimes I miss some of them when I'm looking, and then the other comments hide some. But my wife did say also don't charge your clients. This is something we do to help people. If they offer, fine, but never charge people.
100%.
Right.
100%. In my 14 years, I have never charged anybody. And even to this day, with the paranormal consultant, my wife and I, we do not charge for anything we do.
Right.
The only thing is if you're over a certain mileage away from where we're at, we just ask for gas money if they're available, if it's, an option. If it's not, no worries.
Yeah. And that's understandable, and that's usually what I say is like, if it's real far distance and gas is a concern, you can let the client know, hey, look, I'd love to help you, but gas is a concern, I just can't. And sometimes just by telling them that they'll go ahead and offer that if they want to at least cover the gas and, but to make a profit, I don't agree with that. I think there's ways to profit in the paranormal industry, like books and maybe YouTube monetization, things like that, which I don't have. But I have a book and things like that. But I think there's a place for that. Sometimes when you do public events, you can sell tickets for things like that. And you're sort of doing an educational class. So you're taking time to do a fun event and things like that. I've seen those done as well. But yeah, as far as, offering to charge for private investigation, things like that, I'm not a big fan of that.
Same.
So let's see. I have to cut off caffeine and spikes or have sleep troubles. But yeah, now is there, as we get toward the back end of the show, let me ask you too, is there any, I'm going to give you a chance to do any kind of shout outs. I'll let people know a little bit about what channels, videos, upcoming stuff, anything that you want to shout out on here.
Well, as I stated earlier, I do have a Facebook, just Paranormal Consultant. And then I do videos on YouTube under Paranormal Consultant. I made it easy for people to find me. But I do videos every Friday or almost every Friday, unless something, personal happens. And then I do a Q&A, usually every Thursday. But this Friday, I will have Ron and Leslie that were on here tonight that were hassling me. I'll have them on, and then I have been blessed enough to have yourself for Friday the 13th, and I am excited for that. That's just too perfect.
Yes, I can't wait for Friday the 13th. So don't forget that. And honey, if you're listening, don't forget Friday the 13th. I'm going to be on his show, so we need to make sure we mark that. I'm bad about dates and things like that because I'm not used to doing appearances anymore. So, but yeah, and Christy said also Matt is Josh part of the Para Unity.
Yeah, I think I know what she's talking about. I think I asked you this on one of your last videos about how you guys feel about Para Unity.
Right.
Well, Scott Morton and myself, we've been kind of working together for the past 2 years or so, and we started building kind of a core group of different teams and individuals who are like-minded, who are out to help people, and we're kind of networking. And that's what we're about. And we're always looking and open for any teams or people who want to help. So if I get clients almost once a week, I get somebody messaging me about something. I had a lady in Tennessee message me about coming to help her. Well, obviously Tennessee is a little out of my area. So I contacted a local team down there and told them who I was and whatnot. And they were graceful enough to actually go investigate and take care of this lady. And I do follow-ups as well, but I want basically a group, and I want the paranormal community to start coming together. We get a bad reputation from the general public for whatever reason, and I want us to start being more out in the open. So that way, I mean, simple matter. If there's a fire in your house or a medical emergency, you're going to obviously call 911. You're going to call the fire department. You're going to get a hold of people who are there to help you. Why shouldn't the paranormal be the same thing? People should know that there are people in their areas that are there to help them. And that's kind of what I'm about. I'm about promoting para-unity and para-community. And I want my community and others to know that there are people out there to help you. And we're honestly fun-loving, professional people who just want to help.
Oh, yeah. And I think in para-unity, for me, it's nice. I think I mentioned this before on the last video, but I won't get into too much of that. But I think it's nice on one hand, and I don't see anything negative. There's nothing negative about it. Does it work long term? Maybe not. I've seen it done over the years. I used to be part of the show Ghost Hunters, like TAPS. When that came out, we were part of their network, and we used to do their preliminary investigations, for the show.
Nice.
So they started doing sort of like a little bit of a para-unity type thing as well. They had sort of that. There was some websites back then when websites weren't really a huge thing, right before the .com boom. And there was some websites and things like that. So it just really depends. And there's been different attempts at it, but at the same time, I think it doesn't hurt to always start that network, to have that network. All the guests has been on my show, almost all of them, I probably could call them up and still work with them to this day. Some of them are busy, some of them, whatever. But in the end, we all try to get along. We all try to be there for each other. When you have that good ally, that good friendship, but then sometimes you part ways, or sometimes you just go separate ways, and time changes things sometimes. But I think it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to have that para-unity. Because again, like you said, if a client's in trouble, it's nice for me to be able to say, hey, and I pick up the phone. In fact, I did have that where, believe it or not, we had one of our guys who normally is in the chat, but he didn't make it tonight. That's right. He's on the road. And, but he had a case that was really severe, and it was in between me and another guy on the East Coast. The east part of Virginia, like Eastern Coast. It was right in between us. So he actually referred to me. I was able to call up this other guy, and we were able to be standby, ready to go, and we were going to tag team this really severe case, possible demonic issues, things like that. But it was the fact that we mobilized it. Now, in the end, the client kind of got cold feet and went silent on us. But the point was that we were able to mobilize that, and that was spanning multiple states, from somebody in Louisiana to Tennessee to Virginia. We were able to all still work together to offer support to a family.
And that's the important thing too. I mean, one reason why I even started the paranormal consultant thing is because, like you said, sometimes para-unity works and sometimes it doesn't. Teams to where they will get almost territorial. But with me doing this paranormal consultant thing, I don't have a team. I'm not after, my team's fame and fortune and everything like that. It's just me and my wife. So I figure I can help out more teams and more people if I just do it this way.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what my wife and I did. We don't have a team anymore. It's us, but we've taken more of an educational mentors approach, and more of and just getting out and getting back into the field, doing an urban explorer style. And then of course the show came along with on Paraflix. So that was something that was real important as well. But speaking of which, folks, Paranormal Underground magazine just want to take a quick moment to let you guys know they are a regular sponsor on the show. If you have not heard of Paranormal Underground magazine, definitely go out there, go check them out. ParanormalUnderground.net. You can go there, tell them I sent you, or hell, tell them Matt sent you. They'll give you a free year of that magazine. I don't know if Matt, if you have it, but every first of the month you will get a digital download or a digital version, and it's a high def magazine. It's fully illustrated. You can get a paper version if you really like it, but it is a full on magazine, just like you would get anywhere else. It's got all of your paranormal stuff in there. It's great. Guys, go check it out. You get a free year just by mentioning me. Just say, hey, Josh from the Everything Paranormal Show sent me your way, and I'd like to have a subscription. They will hook you up. So trust me, go check it out.
I'm going right after this.
Yeah, no, Paranormal Underground magazine. Seriously, if you like paranormal, I'm telling you, man. Bob writes in it, and there's great articles. Great. I like the pictures. I'm not
Okay.
I like the pictures.
As
There's no,
long as they're not pop up, you know.
right. No, no, it's a great book. It's a great magazine. Seriously, I love it. It comes out. They've got just some awesome articles about everything from psychic stuff to alien stuff to just paranormal stuff. Bob writes a lot of stories based on some of the activities that he goes to and his team experience. So it really is an awesome magazine. I was going to be on the cover a long time ago, but I held off, and I'm waiting for a special thing. So once that special thing happens, then I'm like, okay, I want to be on the cover again. So that would be great. But anyways, you guys go check it out for sure. Let's see. Did we get any change my mind? Said what's the topic today? Not so much a topic, more of just getting to know Matt, talking about paranormal. Let's see. Bob said, as long as humans have egos, para-unity will not happen anytime soon. But Bob, we do para-unity. You know, you're part of my clique, you and so. But yeah, and that's the thing is like it becomes a clique too. You know, like when you get certain teams that get along with each other and certain people, and the inner circle, so to speak. But let's see, Bob Fountain. My clients still have unanswered questions. I refer them to another local team to get a different opinion. Yeah. So yeah, Bob's talking about referring them to other teams if they still have unanswered questions.
I'm not against that either. I'm not against that either. As long as you do it properly, as you don't give them any like evidence or any feelings or anything like that, and you can validate each other. 100%.
Right.
As long as you don't, you can get proper validation. Absolutely.
All right. Are you? I see you open the door. Are you getting ready to get out?
Oh no, I'm just chilling.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a nice night tonight, so
I know.
I just didn't want to forget to roll up my windows.
It's supposed to be getting a little cooler down here a little bit in Tennessee. It's supposed to be a little bit better of an evening. It's been pretty hot and steamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when are you going to come down this way anytime soon?
We do have plans to go to different locations. We just came back from Newport News, Virginia.
Okay.
She's never been down to Virginia Beach area. I was down there when I was in the military. I love that location. It's a great area, full of history, especially Williamsburg. And so she's never been. So we really didn't have much of a honeymoon type thing when we got married. So this was kind of our honeymoon / it was her birthday. So yeah. But yeah, I do have plans on going to different locations. I know in 2 years we talked about going back out to San Diego. So I'll show her some of the places out there that I used to investigate.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I've been to Virginia Beach back in the day. Got into an accident there. Didn't really exactly have the fondest memories, but there was some good times there. It was okay. I've got family that lives south of Richmond, so I made the extra trek out to the beach when I was younger, you know, just for the heck of it, and it was okay. You know, like I said, we had some good time. Like But yeah, if you ever come down to this neck of the woods, or you're ever going to be close, we'll have to look at trying to get together and
100%.
do something in the middle, maybe. I did venture up to Pittsburgh. Um,
Oh, beautiful.
yeah, I went. I don't know how far away you are from there.
About 3.5 hours, 4-hour drive.
Okay, so for me, to there, excuse me, it was like six. It was like I did about 6.5 hours. I got up there, and then that's when I actually did a collaboration with another YouTuber. So, who knows? There might be something in the future. We might have to meet somewhere in the middle and do something. But
Hey, if you ever make it up to Gettysburg, and I mean, I'll obviously tell you this when you're on my show too. But if anybody or yourself get up to Gettysburg area, I'm only like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So if you get up in my area, I'll show you some places.
no, that's awesome. I would love to go to get it. I haven't been there in forever. So I'd love to. I'd love to go back there and check it out. I know my wife would love to as well. I said she loves that type of stuff, like history and just the she's my best friend as well. She's a lot of behind the scenes. Also, she's not always front and center in the camera. But we're probably going to work on getting her on the show, at least, even if she doesn't want to be on camera, we'll at least get her audio going at some point here.
I thought my wife's the same way, so I thought about sneaking a microphone on her every once in a while, but she's not too family friendly. I'll just put it that way as far as her vocabulary. So
not either, really. We're not really either. I just choose to be nice on the show. I don't know why, but I've said some things. Some of y'all have heard me say some things, especially if I play scary games. If I play scary games live or something, like VR, like what was the one I did? The
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna cuss. I mean, I'm sorry. And like I told you, I'm former military, man. When I worked the flight line, and like I used to tell people, when you crack your head on a jet, and it slices your head open, you don't just say "oh poopy," okay?
Yeah.
Some words are going to fly out your mouth. All right. So,
well, wait. If you're a Phasmophobia veteran, then there is a gentleman that I have a Discord with. His name's Brian. We call him BWOW. He's into a lot of theology, especially biblical theology. He's got me into live streaming Phasmophobia. If you want to join us, we're always looking for a fourth.
Oh my God! Don't tell my wife that. Honey, I hope you're not listening now. She hasn't been on here in a while. Maybe she's not listening to this. Because trust me, she makes me do that stuff. She makes me. I don't choose to do it. I don't choose to play Phasmophobia. I don't just sit down and go, "Hey, I want to play Phasmophobia." No, I don't do that. I don't do that. No, she forces me. She's like, "You're going to play Phasmophobia, and you're going to go live. You're going to stream it to your people, and they're going to make fun of you because you're going to scream like a little girl." And
I played it twice live, and don't get me wrong, like from a professional standpoint, as far as investigating, I was like, okay. But from entertainment, oh my gosh! Like I called this. I'm listening, and yes, absolutely. I told you she was like, she's already like, yep, she lives. I'll just tell her, like, I live for that. She lives to watch me, I love it.
He's trying to kill me through scares.
There was this one that I apparently am notorious for. Right at the end of the first time we streamed this, I was calling the female dog, and I was walking out of the building. I was coming right up to it, and I was like, "Yeah, well, you're still a female dog." Didn't say that, but as soon as I said it, the door shut right in front of me.
Denied.
And it started hunting, and I went, Brian, I'm gonna die. And as it's killing me, he can still hear me. I'm like, "You're still a female dog."
Right.
So he started busting on me for that.
Well, see, I tried doing it myself, and like they just threw me in it. Like they just like if you go and watch my stream, they just like my first one. They just threw me in it. So like the first one's kind of boring in a way. Like I didn't know. I was like 5 minutes. That's it. I'm in and out. Like, and if it didn't happen in 5 minutes, I quit. I was going to the next thing. I didn't know that was just to start the hunting mode or whatever. So like you have 5 minutes to try to get the clues, but so I didn't know again, and then I finally got my son to help me a little bit, and that kind of it helps when you do have help in a way, but it's still freaking tense because like you don't know if you're gonna get trapped, if you gotta hide, then your buddy's dying or your son, whatever. It's like, oh my god. So it is pretty wild. So yeah. So when do you guys stream that?
Well, we did was it last Thursday or the Thursday before? I don't know when the next one is. He has his own thing on Twitch that he does. And the past two have just been kind of, hey, do you want to tonight?
Right.
But I could probably set something up for us. I know he's always willing to.
I don't know. Maybe next Thursday we can look at possibly doing that next Thursday. So instead of me doing a live show, I'll just live stream it, on for the show. Because like I don't always have a guest anymore. It's like every Thursday I try to do something, just whatever. Tonight you happen to be a guest. So maybe next Thursday, or just let me know if like, because I have Thursdays and Sundays. Those are my 2 nights that I have available for the most part. So let me know, set something up. And folks, if you're watching, if you guys want to see a good show, let me know. Terry Lynn's already like, how about tonight? I got to charge all my stuff up anyways, honey. So
and I gotta get up for work tomorrow.
See, he can't do it. He can't do it tonight, honey. Oh darn! But he obviously is gonna. Man, you had to say something about Phasmophobia. Well, I had to say something. Jeez, I had to open my mouth again. That's what happens. I open my big mouth.
We always get ourselves into trouble, don't we?
That's all right. But yeah, I'll make sure I have my sub chart. We'll set a play date. And so yeah, just let me know. Let me know what and then I think that'll be pretty cool to do like to be on a full team and try to see how this, how we can try to knock this out. So all right, well, folks, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, Matt, thank you so much for being on the show. I've had a good time. I hope everybody else has. Stick around, stick around when we get off the air here real quick. But folks, I hope you had a good time. And remember, we do this every Thursday night at 9:00. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and share button. All that good stuff. You guys know that's like the common thing nowadays. You shouldn't even have to say those things, right? But in any case, please do, because that's what helps support guys like Matt and myself. We're always the more unpopular ones when we do real paranormal and not fake stuff. So please share and like. That really helps us out a lot. Go check out Matt and his channel and his shows. Folks, we'll see you next Thursday. And remember, seek the truth. We'll see you next week.